Okay, Ozark Geek here. Take two. I thought I'd do a short video on how I prep my totes to do for rainwater collection. These are IBC totes. They're intermodal bulk container is what IBC stands for. You can go ahead and look it up if you want. These particular totes hold 275 gallons each of whatever liquid you decide to put into them. They come with the cages that you see them wrapped in. The cages help keep them from collapsing or spreading out as you get fluid in them. When you go to take the plastic container that's in the tote out, you're going to have to undo two rods here. These two rods have screws in the ends that go roughly here on each crate. And you just take the bolts out, twist them around, and they'll slide right out. The cages are metal, they're very firm, and in and of themselves, they're very light and easy to move around, probably 50, 70 pounds to move around. You can see one here that's not in the tote. Your totes, I'm going to show you this now so that I don't have to walk back. Your totes on the front at the bottom have a place to open. There's a lever to open up the totes and take out. On the front of them, they'll have a little groove. If you've got the ones like I do, they've got a groove that this piece here can go over that and lock in on the container opening. And the reason is then you can get an adapter. This is a 2-inch adapter that you can put PVC on and keep it that size or reduce down or whatever you want as far as the size to be able to interconnect them and go from there. On my system, I've got 4 tanks here already set up. I'm going to put another 4 up too high. That's going to give me the ability to get some pressure out of the water. My plan is to put gutters up on the side here and either 1 or 2 burst flush systems. If I go 2, there's going to be 1 for each side. And off of this structure, I should be able to collect about 300 gallons of water for every inch of rain. Your results may vary. So here we're going to come back and look at the totes a little bit. Here's one that's out. And that connector that I was just talking about is right here. So you can kind of see it here. It's got a groove around it that adapter fits on. This is your locking hub. If you look down the hole here, there's a little ball valve in there that'll close and keep your fluid in. On my tanks on the tops of them, these usually come with, these caps come with everything. I'm getting some that have 2 holes instead of just the 1. That's going to get me the ability to have an input and output at the top. So once I get them up in structure, I won't have to mess with them to adjust water, and I can put caps on those. The way that I clean the IBC totes, first of all, when you get IBC totes, they carry all kinds of things. You're wanting to look for ones that have food grade plastic, and the stuff that was inside of them, you want it to be food or for some sort of a food product that's not a hazardous chemical, that won't hurt you, it won't kill you, it won't make you sick if you go to eat it. So make sure you look at yours. On these containers here, I got, don't know if you can read it, I got honey out of these. This is what these happen to be. The honey was so good. Amazing. All right, the way you clean these, or the way I did, you do what you want, but the way that I clean these was I took a, here, dish detergent, a good dish detergent, Dawn dish detergent. And from this jar, I would have probably put about that much out of the jar and poured it down into the top, and then filled it, even my finger could be a good gauge, from here to about here with water, and put the cap back on it real tight, and then got practicing my old football skills, and I used this as a tumbling block, and I rolled it across the yard back and forth a couple of times. Came back, emptied out all the water, got a hose, rinsed all the soap out to where it quit bubbling and giving me foam and stuff like that. Did the same thing again and repeated as was necessary to where I felt that it was clean. All crud, whatever you want to call it, was out from the inside, visibly out. And then I wrapped the containers with the black plastic. Here you can see the black plastic still on the roll. I got this from Home Depot. This is like 11 mil plastic. It's heavy. It's very heavy. It's more than your average drop cloth. This is a 50-foot roll I picked up at Home Depot. And what I did was just rolled it as is out across the yard. I put a tote on one end of it and rolled the tote over end until I had enough that I figured from one side to the other, all the way around, I could overlap a little bit and then cut it straight across. Got some tape ready. So I moved the tote out of the way and opened up the plastic, as you see here. And this goes out to about 10 foot wide. And then I put the tote on one end of it and started wrapping it up like a present. And before you guys comment about the tape job, yeah, I did it. And my wife will attest to the fact that I don't wrap presents well. And that's the way I wrapped it. I wrapped it up just like a present and worked it from there. Now, as you can tell, this plastic has two sides, a white side and a black side. I put the black side on the outside. And the reason is number one, it's UV resistant. It will prevent algae from growing inside the tank. And number two, in the summer, of course, and in the wintertime, it will still absorb heat from the sun. In the wintertime, when it's gotten down to 20, 25 degrees here, I could still walk up to these tanks when I had them too high and tap on the side of the tanks and still have fluid water in it that wasn't ice. There was ice in them, but I could still pull water out if I wanted to. So anyway, I wrapped this thing up, and you have to cut an opening for the cap so that you can get the cap back on. Take it off. I may put some more tape or something else on here before it's all done, but you want to make a way that you can take this cap off and put it back on. And then also, I cut two slots in here. That piece where you took the bar out of, it's a little knob sticking up here, and a thing that comes up with a hole in it. Those bars that I showed you in the beginning, those go through here. So once I get it in the container, back in the cage, and put the bars through here and lock it up, I'll put more tape over to the top of it to seal these openings. And likewise, I cut around on the bottom for this to come out so that I could still have access. And now that I show you this, you get to see my foobar. I don't have a way right now of opening that lever, that slides open, that you had open to where the ball valve. I can open that up to let fluid out. So after this video is over, one day this week or weekend, I'll probably cut a hole to put in here, cut a hole in here big enough for me to grab that handle and close it up. Now you notice as the tank is empty, I'm able to move this around with one hand. So just about any guy could do it, or a woman if she, so desires to choose and lift and move it. So anyway, this is a short video of how I did my IBC totes. I'll probably later on, if not this weekend, one night during the week, I'll do these other three. There's two here and there's still one back on the other side that I've got to do, and then get them back in the cage and get them stacked up on top of the other four. So that's how I prep my IBC totes for rainwater collection. If you got any questions or comments, please leave them below in the comment section. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you haven't so and would like to, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications for when I do more videos. All right, Ozark Geek out. Shalom.